make it through with
Actually, right now it's not the beginning of April. It is still March. However, this month is coming to an end pretty quick. We're well into spring. This winter, the end of winter in Minnesota seemed very much like spring, and that continues yet today. So just wanted to give you a little update. I am just having a great time, doing great. Both hip surgeries, I just have to say they're a huge success. I am way more active than I was even years before the hip replacement. Able to walk a lot farther. Weight has been extremely steady as far as weight loss, losing 2, 3, 4 pounds a week pretty much every week. And some of you folks, you're a little disappointed when you're losing 3 pounds a week. Well, the weeks tend to add up. So at the end of that, there's good things that are happening. Clothes are really the only challenge. They just are getting too big too fast, and it's a little bit of a challenge, but we'll take it. Hair is another challenge. Lost some hair. You can't tell on camera. Probably most folks can't tell anyways, except for Grant. But there's I'm just trying to make sure that I get the protein and the vitamins in, and I think I am for the most part, but it's inevitable. I am good at drinking my water. Jamie, Keith, Sam, get on it. Be consistent with that water. Vitamins, doing really good on vitamins. I'm able to take the calcium tablets now rather than having to worry about having chewable stuff, because most of the chewable stuff wasn't the right kind of calcium anyways. But I'm definitely more active. Able to walk, go for walks, hikes. But I'm walking a mile and a half at a time pretty comfortably. And started doing some biking as well. Really cool. I actually decided a few weeks back that I would try to fire up my recumbent bike outside. And I could barely ride that thing before. And I probably shouldn't have been on it because I had no proof that my legs would bend that way. After the hip surgery, and I took it down to a friend's house in my van, had him put air in the tires, just decided I was going to go for a ride. And I said, good thing I'm here, because if there's medical attention, you guys can call for help. It was really touch and go. We got going on it, and I was able to ride that thing a little bit, but it's different than a normal bike. You can't just relax on it. Although it is a comfortable ride, you have to go constantly, and again, my legs were just starting to be able to bend, so it was a death ride. There's no two ways about it. Long story short, I put it on Craigslist and I sold that bike, or I probably wouldn't be here today. That said, I did end up getting a new bike, and just all kinds of cool things happened in that regard. A couple of Saturdays ago, I was looking on Craigslist and decided to go out and test drive some bikes. We were outfitting my son for his upcoming hiking trip to Philmont with Boy Scouts, and while we were over at REI taking advantage of the sales that they were having, I had found some bikes over the other side of town that I wanted to go and test drive. I knew the guy had multiple bikes, so went and took a look at one of them. The one that was in the ad did not interest me when I saw it, but we rode a couple of other ones. I ended up riding like 5 bikes and was just having a blast. And one of them, this Trek 7300, had some really nice components on it, and he'd put on hybrid tires, which are a narrower tire than the mountain bike tires. Not really knobby, but good for the road, good speed. I haven't gone that fast in a long time. And my son Dylan was on a bike next to me, and he's like, "Dad, that's your bike," you know. And it was way the heck more than what I was looking to spend, especially for a bike that was over 10 years old. You know, $265 was something that's just not in the budget without, you know, I hadn't been working for 6 months, and now it's 8 months, and, you know, we still need to get income coming in. So it just really wasn't going to work. I did not have the money for it. I had to sell my bike before I could get a bike, kind of a thing. But, I called him back later that night anyway, just to check in, and of course he had sold that bike and all other 4 bikes that I had ridden. Well, I test drove bikes that Saturday for about 8 or 9 hours, so I think I was ready for a bike. We went by, saw some other stuff on Craigslist, went to the bike shops, and just nothing was really coming together. This past Saturday, I was just doing spring cleaning, just chores, things that I haven't been able to really do for years. Vacuuming out the inside of the cars and moving around in the back seat, vacuuming from one side to the other. It's hard work kind of a thing, and you got to be able to bend this way and that way, and I've just been able to do it way better than I'd been able to do it in a long time, and the cars are clean. But anyway, I got pretty tired, tend to overdo whatever I'm doing, and day kind of came and went, and about 8:30 at night I opened up the computer, I was back on Craigslist, and there was a bike ad, and it said $250 for this particular Globe Specialized, whatever, yada yada. I'd done a bunch of research on the bikes, and I knew that the numbers didn't add up, especially when it said never used. I read the body of it, and it appeared that the guy had inherited the bike, and he just wasn't a bike rider. So I called him up and asked him a couple of questions, size of the frame, things like that. He didn't know, and told him how to figure that out. Turns out it was a medium frame, and I'd been riding larges and liking those for the most part. But I'm only 5'9", 5'10", and so a medium frame is probably just about perfect. But I told him I wasn't interested, probably wasn't big enough kind of a thing. Did a little more research on the bike online. Long story short, they say that frame size is good for people up and over, a little bit over 5'11". And I thought, dang. So I had to call him up and say, it sounds like this bike might be something that would work. I'd at least like to come and take a peek at it. And again, this is about 8:30 on a Saturday night. And he's like, well, come on down. The weather's nice. We're all just hanging out, having a beer, cigar in the garage kind of a thing. I'll be here all night. I said, okay, well, I'll be down. So it was about a 45-minute drive from my house, got there. Bike was awesome. And kind of got him up to speed. And he says, what's your story? What are you looking for the bike for? And I said, back in August, I'd pretty much lost the ability to be able to walk, and I'd had 2 hip replacements, and told him the story about almost dying on the recumbent, and said it was just time for more of a comfort style bike, and I'd like to take it for a test ride. I said I was also about 100 pounds less than I was last summer, and he said, wow. He goes, so basically you're the bionic man. So well, just be careful on it. I wouldn't want to see you get hurt kind of a thing, and took it for a spin, and I'm like, gosh darn it, this is a great bike. Came back like 20 minutes later. I'm riding in the dark with a little headlamp on. Again, riding fast, taking chances. And I get back, and I obviously was having a good time. And I said, I would negotiate with you, but I said, you're just asking an extremely fair price for this bike. It's brand new. It still had tags on the wheels. There was still plastic on the pedals. Not even the water bottle had been used. And he went on to explain that his buddy had given it to him, just wanted to do something nice for him. He had died prematurely. He was 53 years old. And he'd had 4 heart surgeries, and his heart gave out on him. And, I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive that there's a guy taking advantage of a second chance, maybe buying a guy's bike who never had a chance to ride it. And I thought, well, this is just, I gotta buy this bike. And I said, I'm buying the bike. And so bought the bike, went home, and I did not have money for the bike prior to leaving the house. I mean, I did. I had enough, but I wouldn't have had any nest egg whatsoever. And my wife had said, well, all the times that you sold houses and maybe brought home some cash and said, go buy some clothes, go do something here, just here's some money. She goes, I hung on to some of that money. So she gave me $100 before I went down there, because I had said that's really what I would need to feel comfortable. I don't like walking around with no money whatsoever. And that's just where finances are right now. And she said, go, and if the bike is great, buy it. And I did. I bought it. And I get back, and I'm telling her about it, and I could see she was getting kind of emotional. And I told her the story about the bike, and she had said, you realize you're going to be living this guy's dream when you're riding this bike. And I started kind of thinking about that, and I got emotional. I wasn't sad or anything. I was as happy as could be, but, it was kind of hitting me. I literally couldn't walk. And here I was, riding around having a great time on a bike, and this Bob never got to ride his bike. It's pretty powerful. pretty powerful moment. And I'm just extremely grateful. Again, the hip replacements are one thing. Certainly could not have functioned that much longer in that much pain. I know that. But also I'm 100 pounds less than I was last summer already. Really, I am. And that's crazy to me. So I'm able to do things now that I just couldn't, and I'm so grateful. And I hope you guys are all having a good time and looking forward to spring and taking advantage of whatever second chances come your way. Take care of yourselves, and maybe we'll have some video of me on the bike sometime. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.